Hello everyone. In this podcast, we are going to discuss how much clean water does generative AI use for each prompt. So let us dive in.
Welcome to the deep dive. We look at the key insights from information you share with us. Now, many of you know about AI's huge energy use, the carbon footprint, that gets a lot of attention.
Right.
But today we're looking at something often missed, kind of a hidden side to its environmental impact.
Yeah,
It's a massive thirst for clean water.
exactly. And that's our mission for this deep dive, really.
Yeah.
To unpack why generative AI needs water in the first place, get a handle on how much, and then explore what we can actually do about it collectively.
Okay, so let's just start there because I think for many people it sounds strange. Why on earth does AI, specifically generative AI, why does it need water?
Yeah, it seems odd at first, but it really comes down to basic physics. You have these huge data centers packed with powerful servers.
Right, running the AI models.
Exactly. And they generate an incredible amount of heat, just intense heat. So you need to cool them down.
Okay.
And the most common way still is using evaporative cooling systems. These systems directly use fresh water, it evaporates, and that evaporation process absorbs the heat.
So water literally vanishing into the air to cool the machines.
Pretty much, yeah. But there's also an indirect use, the electricity powering these data centers.
Yeah.
Well, that electricity often comes from power plants. It could be coal, natural gas, even nuclear, that also use huge amounts of water for their own cooling processes. So it's a chain reaction, you know.
Ah, I see. So it's cooling the data center itself and cooling the power plants that power the data center. Is that the bulk of it, or are there other factors?
That's overwhelmingly the main driver.
Yeah.
Managing the heat, both directly on site and indirectly through the power grid, it's almost entirely about that heat.
Okay, got it. So let's talk scale then. This is where it gets really interesting, right? What are the numbers actually like?
Yeah, the numbers are pretty eye-opening. There was a study in 2023, University of California, Riverside. They estimated that for every, say, 10 to 50 prompts you give to something like ChatGPT.
Just like asking it a question or giving it a task.
Exactly. That little interaction could use roughly half a liter of fresh water, 500 milliliters.
Half a liter for maybe, what, a few minutes of interaction? That feels like a lot, actually. How does that compare to, like, doing a Google search?
Oh, it's way more. A typical web search uses almost negligible water in comparison.
Yeah.
The AI processing is just much more intensive.
Right.
And when you scale it up, it becomes massive. Take Google. In 2021, their data centers consumed something like 12.7 billion liters of water.
Billion with a B.
Billion, yeah. Enough water to fill about 5,100 Olympic swimming pools.
That's staggering.
It is. At Microsoft, their water use jumped 34% just between 2021 and 2022. Part of that increase was explicitly linked to their AI expansion.
Okay, so the big tech companies are using vast amounts. What about just training one of these big models in the first place, like GPT-3?
Training is also incredibly thirsty. A single large model training run, that could require millions of liters of water just for the cooling during that intense period.
Wow. Okay, so if those are the big numbers, let's bring it back to us, the users. You said maybe 10, 50 prompts is half a liter. Can we break that down further, like one prompt?
Sure, it's approximate, remember, but think maybe 10 to 50 milliliters per single ChatGPT prompt.
Okay, 10 to 50 milliliters.
So if you do 100 prompts in a session, you're looking at maybe half a liter up to 5 liters.
Right.
Now think globally. 1 million prompts, which probably happens very, very quickly worldwide. That could be anywhere from 10,000 to 50,000 liters of water.
10,000 liters for 1 million prompts. That really puts the scale into perspective.
Exactly. And these are just estimates, right? It varies a lot.
Yeah.
Depends on how efficient the data center is, the cooling tech they use,
Yeah.
and crucially, where it's located.
How does location matter so much?
Well, if a data center is in a hot, dry place, like Arizona or Nevada,
Yeah.
it needs way more water for that evaporative cooling to work effectively compared to one built in, say, Ireland or Finland, where
Right.
it's naturally cooler.
Makes sense. Are companies trying different things then? Like not using fresh water?
They are exploring alternatives. Things like liquid immersion cooling, where servers are submerged in a special fluid, or even using seawater for cooling in coastal locations. But those aren't the standard yet. Evaporative cooling with fresh water is still very common.
Okay, so given this pretty significant water footprint, what can actually be done? What are the concrete steps to, mitigate this problem for the companies and maybe for us?
Right, it needs action on a few fronts. First, the AI companies themselves. They really need to push harder on sustainable cooling.
Like the seawater or liquid cooling you mentioned.
Yeah, or even just optimizing air cooling where the climate allows.
Right.
Using recycled water or gray water instead of fresh drinking water is a big one. Some Microsoft data centers are apparently already doing this.
Okay.
And building data centers powered more by renewable energy sources.
Hmm.
Because if the electricity itself isn't generated using processes that need tons of water cooling, that indirect footprint shrinks.
That makes sense. So that's the companies. What about us, the users? Does what we do matter?
It does, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe not individually huge, but collectively, you can practice, let's say, smarter AI interactions.
What does that mean?
Like, instead of firing off 10 quick, simple prompts, maybe try crafting 1 or 2 more detailed, thoughtful prompts that get you the answer you need. Batching requests.
Fewer, better prompts.
Kind of, yeah. And also, maybe just ask yourself, do I really need to use a powerful AI for this simple question? Could I just Google it quickly? Sometimes the answer is yes, use the AI, but sometimes maybe not.
To conscious usage.
Exactly. And you can also choose to support companies that are genuinely transparent and committed to green AI initiatives. Vote with your clicks or your wallet.
Right. What about the bigger picture, policy?
Yeah, that's the third angle.
Yeah.
We probably need more transparency, like mandatory reporting of water usage for major tech firms. That would help everyone understand the scale and maybe incentives, tax breaks or something, for building and operating really water-efficient data centers.
So company action, user awareness, and policy changes.
Pretty much. Yeah. Because even if the water per prompt seems small, like we said, billions and billions of prompts every day globally, that adds up to a very significant environmental issue.
This has definitely been eye-opening. It shifts the focus, doesn't it? Beyond just the energy use, this hidden water footprint is clearly a major factor we need to consider with AI.
Absolutely. It
Yeah.
makes you think differently about your own clicks, your own questions to these systems.
Yeah.
So maybe something for you, the listener, to think about. Next time you ask ChatGPT or another AI a question, just remember, behind that answer isn't just electricity. There's also a sip of clean water involved. And it raises a really important question for the whole industry. Should these AI companies be required to tell us exactly how much water they're using? Should that transparency be mandatory?